This story has lit me up. Jack was just mentioning that, like, my segment at 4, I was going crazy. I'm like yelling into the camera. Check this out from timcast.com. Prosecution reprimanded by judge for, quote, grave constitutional violation during cross-examination of Rittenhouse. Judge Schroeder also dressed down the prosecution for attempting to bring in evidence that he banned from admission. This is where it gets crazy. In the trial, I'll give you the gist real quick. The prosecution said evidence that occurred, you call it evidence, I don't know, an event that occurred 4 months after the night in question is not admissible because it has nothing to do with him defending himself. And so they were like, okay. The prosecutors started bringing it up anyway, and the judge got mad, angry, he got pissed. But the craziest moment was when the prosecution asked Kyle Rittenhouse, why haven't you told this story before until tonight? And then he says, you waited until everyone testified so you could tailor your testimony. And then it was boom, objection. The judge goes off. He's like, what do you think you're doing? You can't do this. You can't question someone as to their right to remain silent. You know this. He's like, you're an experienced trial prosecutor. When the second violation came up, he snapped. He's like, I can't believe, I was astonished that you would dare bring up something like that. It's a matter of basic law for 40, 50 years. And then the prosecutor's like, when it came to the question of the evidence he was bringing in, the prosecutor's like, you open the door, Your Honor. And he's like, for me, not for you. Don't you get brazen with me. I was shocked. And here's where it gets really crazy. I didn't think it was going to happen. The defense said that if this persisted, they would file a motion for a mistrial with prejudice, meaning that the prosecutors erred or attempted to break the rules to prejudice the jury against Rittenhouse to such a degree he would never have a fair trial, and that the judge would have to dismiss with prejudice, meaning they could never file these same charges again. Surprisingly, when they put Kyle on the stand, he starts crying, he's breaking down. When they come back, the craziest thing, the defense actually files the motion asking a judge for a mistrial with prejudice. This is when the judge starts getting into it. The prosecutor, he says, I will take the motion under advisement, and then essentially says if there's one more violation to the prosecutor. So people are speculating now, saying what might happen is that the judge, and the judge has actually said this, something to this effect. He doesn't want there to be a circumstance in which he intervenes and shuts down the court proceedings. He wants the jury to be able to come to their findings. But there's speculation, and I don't know how valuable the speculation is, that there could be a directed verdict, meaning that as a matter of law, the charges against Kyle Rittenhouse are impossible to get. When you had Kyle Rittenhouse, according to the state's witnesses, himself, and every witness, he was yelling friendly and fleeing the scene. You can't get intentional homicide on that. But the judge didn't rule it, and people are saying maybe he wants to see if the jury will rule correctly. He might intervene after the fact. So you can tell I'm really amped about this.
Totally.
Yeah.
I thought I was listening to your segment on 2X speed on the way up here, man. You were hyped.